Hi guys, it's Ian from Donk TCG here, and today I'm bringing you a live deck profile for a really interesting new idea, Dusk Mane Necrozma with Naganadel GX. Okay, so first of all, I'll start with a shout out to Beanbot12. He got in touch in one of the other videos and asked if we would do a video about this particular deck, and of course we are more than happy to oblige. And if anybody out there is interested and wants us to do certain deck videos or anything like that, please do get in touch. So let's jump straight in here and have a look at what we've got. So this deck, we're going to play 3 copies of Dusk Mane Necrozma GX. We're going to play a full 4 copies of Poipole, 3 copies of Naganadel GX, 2 copies of Tapu Lele, 1 copy of Cortana GX, and 1 copy of the baby Dusk Mane. So the theory behind this deck is we want to start with Naganadel. We want to get Poipole into the active on end of turn 1, evolve him up on turn 2 and start putting on early pressure with Naganadel using this Beast Raid attack. So as you can see, Beast Raid does 20 damage times the number of Ultra Beasts you have in play. So if you have a full bench plus him in the active, you're looking at 6 beasts times 20 gives you 120 damage. That's good numbers to put in earlier on. He has a Psychic type, so obviously you're one-shotting something like a Buzzwole. If you've got 5 Ultra Beasts in play, you're one-shotting a Buzzwole. You can take out Espeons, you can take out returns on other Naganadel GXs, this kind of idea. So he's a really useful Pokemon. And the idea, as we say, of this deck is we start with him in the active, we put on some early pressure, and while we're doing that, on the bench, we are powering up Dusk Mane Necrozma GX. Now, Dusk Mane Necrozma GX is awesome, and we're really trying to get that Meteor Tempest attack up and running. 220 damage for 4 energy, discard 3, and you have to have 3 metal energy and a colourless to use that attack. So Naganadel's doing the heavy lifting early on in the start of the match, and then Dusk Mane Necrozma sitting on the bench, powering up, getting ready to go. Couple of other Pokemon to help them out here. We've got Baby Dusk Mane Necrozma GX. Now, Dusk Mane Necrozma GX, Baby Dusk Mane Necrozma rather. I'm not 100% sure if I would be keeping this card in the list. That first attack there, attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon GX or Pokemon EX. Good, but the damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. So he is a metal type, so you wouldn't take out something like a Gardevoir with weakness and other kind of buffs. Unfortunately, you would just deal it a straight 60 damage. This attack also only hits GX and EX Pokemon, so you can't 60 damage to a Ralts or a Zorua or something like that, which again is quite unfortunate. Its second attack, Rusty Claws, for 2 metal energy and a colourless, does 100 damage plus another 100 if your opponent has exactly 1 prize card remaining. This is where I think this Pokemon could be pretty useful. In the late game, as a way to take that final knockout, could be really handy to have that extra buff damage in the attack. He is a non-EX, non-GX attacker, so he's only giving up 1 prize and he has 130 HP, which is difficult to hit. So I do think that he has a place. I'm just not 100% sure if he's the best one to include in here. Another alternative possibly for that card that I was thinking was Solgaleo Prism Star. So the downside of him straight away is that he's not an Ultra Beast, so if he's on your bench, you're limiting your Naganadel's damage output straight away. But he has that Radiant Star attack for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. Attach a Metal Energy card from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. So if your opponent has a full bench and obviously they're active, you can attach 6 Metal Energy out of the discard wherever you want. You can use that to power up the Dusk Mane Necrozmas we were talking about in the bench. You can attach it to himself. He does 160 damage with his Corona Impact attack. He's 160 HP. It's between these two for me. I think they both have their merits. At the minute, we're leaving the baby Dusk Mane in, but I'm not 100% sure if we'd stick with him. As you can see, we have 2 Tapu Lele GX. It's obvious why we play Tapu Lele, to search out those supporters, and it can be a good attacker on a pinch as well. And we play 1 copy of Cortana GX. Now, Cortana GX is a card that saw a little bit of play when it first came out, but it hasn't seen much play recently. But it's quite a good card. It's an Ultra Beast, so as you can see later on, we're going to have ways to search it out and have interactions with this card, which are really important. It's 170 HP, which isn't great for a GX, but it is a basic, it's metal type, and we're really playing it for 2 reasons. First of all, the ability is just Enhanced Hammer, so as soon as you play it from your hand onto your bench, Enhanced Hammer, one of your opponent's special energy, which is really, really useful. It can slow your opponent down. It's a really cool ability to have. His Gale Blade attack, 70 damage. You can shuffle the Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. Metal double colourless. 70 damage for 3 energy with that ability on the attack is just not enough. He's not hitting the numbers there. But where he is really interesting is Blade GX. For a single metal energy, take a prize. That's just it. Take a prize. And that's where I could see this card being really, really useful in this deck, because we have ways to get it into play. So if we were, for example, to say that we started out taking some knockouts on, let's say we knocked out a Zorua with Naganadel in the early game, we're not worrying about playing the 7 prize game necessarily here. We know that we can take out 2 big GXs, and then we can just Blade GX with Kartana to take that final prize of the game. It's really handy if you get yourself an odd number of prizes. Now, a wee word of warning with it, I wouldn't start out using it. I wouldn't go turn 1 Blade GX even if you had that option, because then you're forcing yourself to play the 7 prize game rather than helping yourself get around playing the 7 prize game. There are also GX attacks on Dusk Mane Necrozma. So for 3 metal energy, it does 250 damage, but you have to be behind on prizes. Well, we don't mind going behind prizes in this deck, as we'll see in a wee minute. And then you've also got the GX attack on Naganadel, which for 3 colourless energy, shuffle your prizes into your deck, both you and your opponent, and put out 3. That's a very dangerous attack, I have to say. I think it's a really cool GX attack. I think it can be awesome in certain decks, but I would buyer beware with that GX attack. My issue with it is, if it was an ability, first of all, if it was an ability, it'd be completely broken. It'd be ridiculous how powerful it was. But if it was an ability, you would get to attack. My worry with Naganadel GX using this attack is he sits there in the active, and we have things like Mew EX and Baby Mew running around. Buzzwole can reach the numbers on him. Ultra Necrozma GX. So you put your opponent to 3, and then they take a big knockout, and they're at 1 at that point. And if you can't return knockout after that, you've already got 3 energy committed to the Naganadel. That's tough to deal with, and that's my concern here. Don't get me wrong, if your opponent jumps out to they've taken 5 prizes and you haven't taken any, it could save you in the game. It has the power to do that kind of thing, but I wouldn't be using that as a particularly early game attack. Okay, I wouldn't be trying to get 3 prizes for me and my opponent in the early game. So those are the Pokemon that we're putting in this deck. So we'll move these guys off to the side for a wee second. So, move them across. And let's start taking a wee look at our supporters. So, the supporters that we play in this deck, we play 1 copy of Lily, we play 1 copy of Professor Sycamore, we play 3 Cynthia, we play 2 N, we play 4 Guzma, and we play 2 Ultra Recon Squad. Now, I don't imagine I need to go over too many of these cards. It's quite obvious where we're going with this. These really are your draw cards, your Cynthias, your Sycamores, your Ns. You see these in just about every deck. Lily's a card that I really like because this deck doesn't rely on Bridget. So if you can get one of your Tapu Lilies in turn 1, or you start with Lily in hand, even better, and you can play your hand down, and this deck wants to be aggressive, it wants to play the hand down, then we can draw up to 8 and get going. Okay, and it gives you a really, really good start. Ultra Recon Squad is the one that I'm really going to talk about here though. As you can see, discard up to 2 Ultra Beasts from your hand, draw 3 cards for each card you discarded this way. So if you discard 2 Ultra Beasts, you draw 6 cards flat. Now, we play a lot of Ultra Beasts in this deck. There may be games where you don't need the Baby Necrozma. There may be games where you don't need the Kartana. You play 4 Poipole and 3 Naganadel. That's so we can start Poipole, we can get him set up as quickly as possible. You play 3 Dusk Mane Necrozma. You're not going to use every single one of these cards. So Ultra Recon Squad can become really, really handy at that point to get you draw in the later game. It can be really, really useful as a way of just aggressively getting rid of cards that you don't want in your deck, and we're going to have a wee look in a minute about how we might be able to search them out pretty easily, and then you can draw into new ones and really start getting yourself going. So, let's move on, and we're going to now have a look at the item cards that we play in this deck. So we'll move these guys off to the side. Okay, so item cards we play unsurprisingly, 4 Ultra Ball. We play 2 Mysterious Treasure. We play 4 Max Elixir. We play 4 Beast Ring. We play 4 Ultra Space, which is obviously a stadium card. And we play 1 copy of Super Rod. So Ultra Ball, we know what it does. It's a 4 of in basically every deck out there. It's a terrific card. It's a great way to search out your Pokemon. Mysterious Treasure is Ultra Ball, but you only discard 1 card from your hand rather than 2, and you search only for a Dragon or a Psychic Pokemon. Now, there's 2 in here, and that means that we can get out OHKOs in the early game, we can search out Naganadels. It's a card that I'm not 100% sure I will keep in the deck or keep in the deck as a 2 of, but I want to try it out with it because I think it gives you a bit of consistency that you lose when you're not playing Bridget, and there are other cards that help us smooth that out as well. Max Elixir, we want to be aggressive in this deck. We want to be super aggressive. So we want to get Naganadel in the active, as I said, Dusk Mane's on the bench, and we want to max Elixir to the Dusk Manes as much as possible. When that runs out, you might say, we've got Beast Ring, and that's why we play 4 of these guys. So, Beast Ring. As long as your opponent has 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, search your deck for 2 basic energy and attach them to one of your Ultra Beasts. So, you start with Naganadel GX. You put on a bit of early pressure. You want that Naganadel GX to go down so that your opponent takes 2 prizes, goes to 4, and then you go mad with your Beast Rings. And you power up 2 Dusk Mane Necrozmas, and hopefully at that point you have enough power to start taking big knockouts with that 220 damage. You go behind on prizes, so it gives you access to Dusk Mane Necrozma's GX attack for 250 damage, which is fantastic. It's such a good card, and this is the strategy of that deck. We want to abuse Max Elixir, we want to abuse Beast Ring to power up Dusk Mane Necrozmas, take big knockouts before your opponent can respond. We play 4 copies of Ultra Space. So Ultra Space is a really important stadium card that we play in this deck. As you can see, once during each player's turn, the player may search their deck for an Ultra Beast card, reveal it and put it into their hand. It's really key that it goes into the hand, because that means you can use it for something like Ultra Recon squads we were talking about. You get it into your hand, card that you don't want, let's say it's Cortana, you discard it with Ultra Recon squad, you're thinning your deck and you're drawing cards at the same time, which is terrific. It acts a little bit like a Brooklet Hill in the early game, where you would search out your Poipos or your Rockruffs you're playing Brooklet Hill. You might be able to get, your Dusk Mane Necrozmas into your hand, put them onto your bench, like you would with a Buzzwole if you're playing that kind of deck with Brooklet Hill. But you also get it into your hand, so that means you can get your Naganadel. It doesn't go to the bench like a Brooklet Hill. So you can get Naganadel off of this, and you've got really great outs to get a Naganadel on turn 2, able to put on that early pressure. We play 1 copy of Super Rod, and that is just because we want to be able to recycle some of these Pokemon, perhaps, if we've had a bad Sycamore or something in the early game, if we've had to discard some Pokemon for Ultra Ball or Mysterious Treasure that we don't want to. It gets back energy as well when we're discarding for Dusk Mane Necrozma GX's attack, and it's a really good card to include. We finish off with our energy count, and we play 14 energy. 14 basic metal energy. So, there you are. And we play 14 metal energy for the simple reason that we want to be able to hit our Max Elixirs, we want to be able to hit our Beast Rings when we've got them there, we've got Super Rod to get them back if we have to get rid of them in the early game, and it just gives us so many options to play that many energy. We don't worry about getting rid of them in the early game if we have to. And that is the deck list, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm really excited to start trying this deck out. I think it's got a lot of potential to be really powerful. I think Naganadel is a terrific card. I think Dusk Mane Necrozma's already proven itself, particularly in South America, to be an absolutely terrific card. This is not the final build. I'm not planning on having this as the final build. I do want to test it. I want to see it with Solgaleo Prism Star, for example. I want to see if I need to go to a higher Sycamore count, perhaps, to add into that aggression. Is Mysterious Treasure going to be really that beneficial? I don't know. I'll need to figure it out as I go through my playtesting. And I want you guys to get in touch as well. As you're playtesting this deck, tell me what you think. Okay, what changes have you made? What have you found that works? What have you found that hasn't? And I'll try and update you guys in the future as well. As ever, subscribe to the channel, find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the usual kind of places. Please get in touch. We really do want to hear your feedback. We love talking to you guys, and as I said at the top of the video, if you have any requests or videos you would like us to do, please just get in touch and let us know. Thanks very much for listening, guys. I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.